Crescent Beach Marina in Surrey is home to one of British Columbia's most successful yacht building companies. Over the last few years, Crescent Beach Boatbuilders have launched a number of the largest yachts built in this region. In 1995, Ted and Loretta Rogers of Toronto christened this 116-foot boat.
Our preference was that the boat be built in British Columbia because of the outstanding crafts, men and women, at Jack Charles Crescent Beach. Canadians can build world-class products, and today's celebration is evidence of the success of British Columbia's craftsmanship.
Jack Siren is the best-known naval architect in the Pacific Northwest. He's worked with Crescent from the start. We asked him for some background on the company.
Crescent Beach is a unique builder in that the company started, obviously Jack Charles is the guiding force and founder, and it's his vision. He's responsible for all the success of it, and it started with labor of love. Maybe it's a love of labor, I don't know. Has taken a yard which was really started out kind of a temporary type of a shop, really a boathouse that evolved into a boatyard. And there probably is an example of somebody that quickly saw that in order to compete with the rest of the yachting world, they had to upgrade their technology. They couldn't do it by the seat of their pants, like a lot of boat builders have done in the past. And he modernized, and he's taken advantage of all the, the disciplines that are available to them. So they've come a long ways with their use of materials and grading, very long ways. They've now become recognized. They're right there with a lot of other large yacht builders in North America. People that are into yachts, they know about Crescent Beach, so they have developed a reputation.
Crescent's founder, Jack Charles, owns the well-known 115-foot yacht, Hawkins. The yacht building facility at Crescent Beach Marina was built to facilitate her construction in the mid-'80s. In the period since then, many of the Crescent vessels have been started on speculation. Mr. Charles explained how he started his high-end boat building company.
The first group I got from McQueen Boat Works, about 20 employees. They're still with us. They've been with George McQueen 10 or 15 years before that. They're all old-timers, but they're especially our carpenter and joiner work people are really good.
Where does Crescent Beach fall in the line between a hobby and a business?
It's still a hobby. I try and spend maybe an hour and a half a day at the most on whatever, but I get more involved now. When you get one in a spec and it gets 3/4 built and not sold, then I worry a little bit more.
Crescent's Director of Sales and Marketing, Greg Teman, has been responsible for the international profile that the company has created for itself to sell their yachts throughout the world.
Greg, who buys a boat like this?
Individuals that have been successful. Usually entrepreneurs. Yeah.
What sort of part of their portfolio would a vessel like this represent?
Really, a small portion. This is after tax dollars. This is just a pleasure item for one of these people. It's a reward for their hard work and what they've been able to accomplish in life.
What sort of price range do the vessels that Crescent is building fall into today?
We are considered a rather high-end product in this marketplace, and a 115-foot boat is going to run you just about $8 million.
We had the opportunity to visit the Crescent Yard a number of times to film the progress on their current projects. Our guide was Plant Superintendent Jim Hawkins.
Jim, how long does it take you to build one of these yachts?
Well, we're averaging about 12 to 14 months on these ones now. It depends on how sophisticated the interior are on them. They'll average 80,000 to 90,000 man-hours.
Does that include the hull?
No, it doesn't. No, the hull we get built separately by an outside contractor.
What's the reason you use an outside contractor for the hulls?
A lot of it is space and timing. There's several large boat building companies in the United States that have molds for yachts of this size. So instead of one-offing a hull, we get them to take it out of their mold, and it actually works out cheaper, and we can get the hull faster. That way it doesn't take up our crew or use up any of our time. What we try to do here is mold as large a piece as possible to put on the boat, so it's one integral part. It doesn't have any joints in it. Makes it a lot lighter and a lot stronger. We build a disposable wooden mold, and then the fiberglasses go in there and fiberglass on the inside. Then we destroy the mold to get the part out of it. The parts are usually built upside down and inside out. Then we have to bring them outside, and we flip them over with a large crane and lift them up onto the boat, squeezing them into the shed. We've found this to be a very efficient way to build it, because you have one large piece going onto the boat rather than 5 or 6 smaller pieces that you have to join together and then fare in.
What level of quality do the owners of these vessels expect from you?
Excellence. The type of people that are buying these boats don't compromise on quality, and that's what we have to work towards, is perfection. It's hard to achieve sometimes, but that's what we try and head towards.
What's it like to work with these materials? It seems like an incredibly dusty environment.
It is very dusty, and the materials are very hard. It's a very hard job. You'll notice the guys that are doing the fairing on the outside of these boats, they're all young, they're very fit. It's a lot of work. They put a lot of effort into it, but we come out with a nice finish in the end.
Because of the crowded conditions at the Crescent Beach plant, the joinery shop has been moved to a warehouse off-site. We dropped by to speak with foreman Michael Eyre.
Generally speaking, we're expected to do really high-quality work, and that's part of my philosophy for the shop too, is to keep the standard really high. I suppose on a global scale, we look at our work here as sort of an upper end of the lower range of super yachts. I mean, we certainly don't compete with the very best that Europe produces, but we're really proud of the work we do compared to other builders in the Pacific Northwest. I think probably our craftsmen here are as good as any you'll find. We ask a lot of individual attention to the work from them, and they do work really individually. I think that probably is the reason that we keep people as long as we do. It's very enjoyable work and certainly demanding. Here we have the time to do a really good job, and the guys are really aware of that too. They're able to relax and get on with the work.
These 2 boats that we have on the go at the moment are built under the American Bureau of Shipping Standards, which is just like a building code for building a house. We have built under Bureau Veritas, which is the French Coast Guard standards, which is very tough. We used that code when we were building charter boats. We built 3 charter boats here. But it seems the most popular is American Bureau of Shipping, which is commonly known as ABS.
What sort of changes in these boats have you seen in the years that you've been building luxury yachts?
Sophistication on them, especially in the electrical and the mechanical departments. The interior, as far as the woodworking and the finishing inside, hasn't changed much, but the sophistication in the mechanical and electrical systems has grown astronomically. As technology increases, the owners of these boats want to be on the leading edge of technology, but they still want the boats to be simple to operate and run. Obviously, we had to pull the hull out because we don't have the height inside the shed to lift an engine of that size. These engines are weighing 5 tons apiece. It's a lot of weight to try and squeeze into a small shed, so we found it more efficient to pull the boat out, drop the large tanks, the large fuel tank, and the engines and generators in while the boat is outside.
I seem to recognize the fellow operating the crane on this operation today.
Yes, Jack Charles. Jack Charles is the owner of this company, as well as Arrow Transportation, which a lot of people probably know, with these yellow trucks. Jack really likes to get involved when we're putting large pieces on the boat. He enjoys coming down here and helping the guys out. He's a lot of fun to be around.
We have a lot of mobile cranes in our yard, and I run crane and truck and everything for years, all types, and shovels, backhoes, anything. And I have 3 boys in the business, all equipment minded the same way as I do. So that's the only time I get to play on weekends. I go down and I run the crane and put the engines in, and Yeah, I really enjoy it.
On one side of the shed, we're down to about 2 inches. That's left us with about 3 feet on the other side, so we'll be able to work on one side of the hull. We'll be transferring this boat to the other shed, which is quite a bit wider once we've launched the 115, so that then we can work on the other side and get prepped for painting. The superstructure goes on, that's kind of exciting. In between all of these exciting points, there's the low points, you know, is this ever going to get done because it takes so long to build one of these vessels. And then the crown and glory is when we finally pull it out of the shed and it's finished, it's painted, it's shining and glowing. The job satisfaction really tides you through for that next year and a half as you build the next one. Looking forward to seeing another one coming out of the shop.
Well, I just love boats, and I just love enjoying help put them together, and like say running cranes and doing all that on the weekends, and talking. I know every employee knows you my name personally, and you know I know their family, and it's just a lot of fun.
Are there any downsides to it?
Yeah, when you worry, wake up 3 o'clock in the morning when the boat's, like I said, 3/4 finished, and you've got $5 million in it that hasn't sold yet. You worry then.
My phone is ringing all the time with people that are interested in us building even larger boats now, up to 130 feet. So one of the problems that we're experiencing right now, our feet are outgrowing our shoes. So, but we're really excited about the future. And the men at the yard, who are very talented craftsmen, you know, they're feeling real good about where we're going as well.
Where do you expect the company to be in 5 years?
Just about the same. Unless I get an order for a couple orders for 130 or so, then I may move the facilities into Mitchell Island. Then I'm in the business.